Hare Krishna, all devotees. Thank you for joining our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. Today, on the occasion of Narasimha Chaturdashi, we'll discuss a beautiful pastime of Prahlad Maharaj and conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimha Dev. Basically, these are some of the prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj to Narasimha Dev, and we'll try and learn something out of it for our own purification. So the the topic for today's session is how Krishna protects, how God protects, and since we know who God is, we give His name. How Krishna protects. Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. This is the promise Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita, and he make Arjuna give this promise so that at times Krishna break his promise, break his vows. But if a vow or a promise is given by a devotee, Krishna ensures that that is followed, and that's therefore he makes Arjuna declare it boldly, boldly declare it boldly, O Arjuna, that my devotees never perishes. So so let's understand what's happening in this particular pastime and how you can make sense of this declaration by Lord. This picture of Lord Narasimha Dev was taken when he appeared, when that pillar was smashed by Hiranyakashipu, and there was a huge sound that happened that went across three lokas, three worlds. Everyone heard it. Everyone shook with that sound, and it was such a tremendous sound that and behind that sound, after that sound, the big roar came. Hiranyakashipu was amazed, was surprised, was shocked to see what's happening. From the pillar which he built in his own palace appeared a fearful form of not an animal nor a human, a half lion and half human. The upper body of a lion and the lower body was that of a human. And he appeared and he grew in size. His head was practically touching the sky at least. And he was huge, he was fearsome. His eyes were like two suns directly looking at you. And that his teeth are described in a very ferocious teeth. He's very ferocious. He's angry. He's angry because his devotee has been tortured. His devotee has been persecuted. His devotee has been troubled. And he has come to teach lesson to those who dare do that, and therefore he is extremely in an angry mood. At this, Lord Narasimhadev appears, jumps out of that pillar, and starts searching for Hiranyakashipu. And this picture of Narasimhadev was taken at that time before he grabbed Hiranyakashipu, or before he start his play like fighting with Hiranyakashipu. So this picture is that of Sri Ram Mayapur, where Lord Nrsimhadev is gloriously worshipped. And he is, though he is in angry mood in Mayapur Dham, he gets the Audarya mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Nrsimhadev is extremely merciful, extremely kind, extremely merciful to all his devotees. So so we offer our obeisances to Lord Narasimha and begin our journey in today's session to learn few things from this beautiful pastime. What's happening here is uh, we are going to discuss a couple of verses basically from the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and the ninth chapter and um, 15th verse, 15th and 16th verse predominantly that we will see. So these are prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Narasimha Dev. Uh, in this 15th and 16th prayers we will see. Then we will go back and see the pastime a little bit, and then we will come forward. It's like backward forward. We will keep moving back and forth in order to cover this pastime, beautiful pastime. From the moment we start from here, we go a little backward, and then we come back right here and discuss this in detail. So all 60 of you, don't leave. Block your next 2 hours. Don't No need to take phone calls. We'll learn something meaningful today. We'll learn something useful today, especially at the backdrop of what's happening today. It's more important to learn, how Lord protects. Do Lord protects? Does Lord really protects? So don't go anywhere. So with this, let's begin. Let's begin understanding the prayer 15. 15, the prayer that Prahlad Maharaj is offering in the 15th verse of this chapter. So Prahlad Maharaj I've given the translation. Prahlad Maharaj is saying that, my Lord, you are never conquered by anyone. Ajita. One of the name of Lord is Ajita. Ajita, you cannot win over Lord. Mattah parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that there is nobody equal to or greater than me. So I cannot be defeated by anyone. So Prahlad Maharaj begin this particular verse by glorifying Lord, by calling him Ajita. So you are never conquered by anyone. I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue. So if you see his mouth and tongue, his tongue was coming out, his tongue was going out and coming back just like a serpent. And his ferocious mouth, he had assumed form of a lion. Lions are ferocious, and angry lions are more ferocious. And when he appeared out of that pillar, and the Hiranyakashipu got scared. The those that Hiranyakashipu, to whom all the devtas were fearful. If he would raise an eyebrow, even Indra would start shaking. So that Hiranyakashipu got scared simply by taking darshan of Lord Nrsimhadev. And the Lord Nrsimhadev was that fearful. But Prahlad, though he is a small 5-year-old boy, he saying, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Lord. I'm not afraid of you, O Lord. And then he's describing his beautiful form, that your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp pinching teeth, your garland of intestines. These intestines were not brought from somewhere else. These intestines were that of Prahlad's father. Hiranyakashipu was killed by in a open surgery, and he performed surgery. He pulled out his intestine, and then held it and had it in around his wear it around his neck as if he was wearing a garland. And that in garland of intestine of Prahlad's father, Prahlad saying, even that sight of is also not very fearful. You are not fearful in this sight also. Your mane soaked with blood, or your high wedge like ears. Nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephant flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. So Prahlad Maharaj is giving a broad description, a brief description about Lord's form. And Prahlad Maharaj is saying that though this form is fearful for others, Hiranyakashipu was extremely afraid of this form. Ultimately, Lord killed Hiranyakashipu, and then pulled out his intestine and worn it around his neck as if he's wearing a garland. Seeing this form, seeing this ferocious form, and this ferocious actions, Indra, Brahma, and Lakshmi ji, who were present there, all other devtas, even they got scared. They said, we can't approach this Lord. We can't go and speak with him. We just can't. And though the Lord Nrsimhadev has appeared to save the Devatas, even Devatas were fearful of him, seeing in such a ferocious form. And after this, Prahlad Maharaj is going to speak some beautiful verse, one beautiful verse, and which we are going to actually study in a little bit detail. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Trastosmi aham, Krupana Vatsala Dussahogra. Trasto, Trastosmi aham, Trastosmya aham. Trastosmya aham, he's speaking this word at the time when Hiranyakashipu was already killed by Nrsimhadev. Uh, and not only Hiranyakashipu, but all his entire army was annihilated by Nrsimhadev because he didn't stop. He was so much angry. The whole army of Hiranyakashipu attacked Lord Nrsimhadev and he killed everyone. So it was a huge killing that happened. Practically, all the favorable demons, those who were trusted favorable demons of Hiranyakashipu, were killed in that battle. Um, and Prahlad Maharaj is relieved actually. But now he's saying, Trastosmya aham kripana vatsala dussahogra. Dussahogra. My question is, why would Prahlad Maharaj be thinking, saying that he's a thruster? He is afflicted, he is troubled. Now he is in trouble when his father is dead. And we'll go back to the history where we see that Prahlad was tortured endlessly, relentlessly by Hiranyakashipu and his soldier. He was not Trasta then, but he's now saying, I'm Trasta. Any guess anybody would like to take to explain why would that be? What is Prahlad Maharaj referring to when he's saying, I'm Trasta? Trastosmya aham. Very clearly, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking this verse. Is not in two minds, but he's very certain about this fact that I'm Trasta now. What is he thinking? What he might be thinking, and why is he saying that he's Trasta? Any guesses? Please raise hand. Guess. I mean, you can be right. You may not be right. That's all right. Yeah. Other than Vikas Roji, anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you told that we can guess, so I think he is like he's वो trust हो चुके he's thinking कि now he has to do all the funeral rites of his father, or he was a demon, but still he was his father. So now he has to do all those things, so maybe because of that. It was just a guess, Prabhuji. I
Yeah,
don't know.
okay, understood.
Thank
That's fine.
you.
That's one guess is maybe he has to perform last rites for his father. Okay, but that's
Hare
a
Krishna.
duty. Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, just a guess. Maybe it is because he actually attacked, his father actually attacked Vishnu. And so now he is concerned that now what will be the destiny of my father. And so then he later on prays to Lord Narsimha that please forgive my father and liberate him. And that is why he is very, very feared and very much concerned, not for himself, but for his father.
That is another guess. But yeah, okay. Next, but yeah, I mean, he requested him, and Narsimhadev also granted. Yeah, what
Yes,
to speak of your
that
father?
happened.
21 generations, I will liberate. There's no problem.
Yes.
Sachi Mataji, Kanchan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. So I think because till end he was telling his father to take the shelter of the Lord, but he didn't agree with him and he didn't take the shelter of the Lord. So maybe because of that.
Okay, that
Just
is,
a guess,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
fine. Kanchan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Babuji.
Hare
I
Krishna.
think he was feeling that his father has angered him so much that it is beyond the control of any other demigods and everybody. That everybody was scared how angry he in this form he was, and then it was everybody was unable to control, and he has to pray him for the control and for the comeback of the original state, which was the
Okay.
peaceful one.
Okay. So he's wanting Nasadev to come back to his peace, calm down basically, and he's fearful. He may not do that, seeing what his father has done. That's one other guess. Ashwini Shukla Prabhuji and then Vikas Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। तो प्रहलाद महाराज ने जैसा कि नारद नारद जी से जो उनको स्पिरिचुअल टीचिंग्स मिली थी, उसके अनुसार उनका भय है, जो वास्तविक भय है इस भवसागर में जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि, उससे त्रस्त है, ऐसा उनका मतलब ध्येय है, मंतव्य है, और वो ऐसा कहना चाह रहे हैं, मतलब ऑल द लिविंग बीइंग्स आर सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस misery.
Okay, so
Yes.
Prabhuji is saying Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. That can also be a reason, absolutely. Let's see what he has to say. Anybody else would like to say anything before we jump into the presentation?
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandavat Pranam. So, as Ashwini Prabhuji was mentioning this, that materialistic life. So, in this very verse itself, Prahlad Maharaj uses that word, Sansar Chakra Kadanath, that I am so fallen that I have taken birth in the family of the demons, and then I'm not certain that when means what can happen to me in the next lives. So, the this trust that Prahlad Maharaj is trust about that when I'll take shelter of your lotus feet, so that I'll just get away from all these miseries and I can just offer that loving devotional service to you, my dear Lord.
So
Hare
let's
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Praji. Yes. So trastosmya aham krupana vatsala dussahogra. Krupana vatsala trastosmya aham. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I'm trasta and I'm taking shelter of whom? Krupana vatsala. Krupana vatsala is Krupana is Prabhupada explains in the Karpanya Doshopahata Swabhava 2.7 verse of Bhagavad Gita. What do you mean by Krupana? Krupana is the one who is miserly. Miserly is someone who is not able to make best use of what is available with him. And Prabhupada gives simple example that if human form of life, after getting human form of life, if you do not perform devotional service, if you do not try to end the cycle of repeated birth and death, then you are called as miserly. You are known as miserly. If you remain busy in the sense gratification alone and without caring to work on your spiritual life to end the cycle of repeated birth and repeated death, then you are called miserly. Prahlad Maharaj, we know God as Bhakta Vatsala. Those who are his devotees, he loves them, he cares for them. But Prahlad Maharaj is saying, ओ लॉर्ड मैं भक्त हूं ही नहीं, क्योंकि मैं तो असुर कुल में पैदा हुआ हूँ, एंड आई एम माइजरली. असुर्स आर what do demons are known for? Demons are known for sense gratification. Anybody who is thinking and engaging himself in sense gratification alone is called demon. So he says, I'm a demon, and I'm not even a devotee of you. So, but you love me, O Lord, for protecting me, you have appeared. So it's not that you are just a भक्त वत्सल, वो तो आप हो ही, बट आप कृपण वत्सल भी हो. मेरे जैसे नालायक, मेरे जैसे गए गुजरे, मैं जैसे असुर के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए भी, ओ लॉर्ड, यू लव मी सो मच. एंड ही सेइंग यू आर कृपण वत्सल दुस्सहोग्र. संसार दुस्सहोग्र. Prabhat gives that meaning, and we'll see that. But uh, yes, we'll go to the translation. That time we'll see the meaning. Samsara, the this sahagra is I'm worried, I'm afflicted, I'm Worried for what? Samsara chakra. Samsara chakra kadanada grasatam pranitah. Samsara chakra is the cycle of repeated birth and repeated death. Grasatam, I'm afflicted. I'm afflicted. I'm caught up in this samsara chakra. नाद बद्ध ये बंधन क्यों है? बद्ध स्व कर्म भिरुशतम ते 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 निग्रह मूलम प्रीतो प्रीतो अपर प्रीतो अपवर्ग शरणम हवयसे कदानु. सो दिस इज हिज प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट कि मैं हिरण्यकशिपु का वध हो चुका है. हिरण्यकशिपु इज नाउ डेड. All his trusted soldiers, all his trusted, confident soldiers, even they attacked Nrsimhadev and they were killed also. So practically, now the whole kingdom is unrivaled. And Prahlad Maharaj see that he now will have to step in and become king because there is nobody else, and the kingdom cannot be left without king. And becoming king is something that will help, that will get him entangled in this material world. And he's saying, if I get entangled in the material world, performing my worldly duties and enjoying my royal palace and king's opulence, if I start doing all that, I will forget you, O Lord. Then how will I be able to get out of samsara chakra? How will I be able to? When will I get shelter at your lotus feet? Apavarga Sharanam. That Apavarga, that higher planet, when will I attain? If I just keep doing my worldly duties, if I get caught up in my worldly duties, I may forget bhakti. And then I may just get caught up into that samsara chakra. See the translation? Prahlad Maharaj is saying, O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditioned life? So let's take a step backwards. This whole pastime, we know that Prahlad Maharaj, uh, Narad Muni is his teacher. Narad Muni, Kayadu, when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother Kayadhu, she was taken to the shelter. Narad Muni actually kept her, protected her. Kindra wanted to kill, but he protected her. He said, "No, she's pregnant with the with one of the topmost devotee of Lord." इंद्र वांटेड टू किल द प्रोजेनी ऑल्सो, दैट हिज हिरण्यकशिपु भी इतना भयंकर है, उसका बेटा कितना भयंकर होगा, उसको भी मार देते, अभी मार देते, पेट में ही हत्या कर देते. बट नारद मुनि प्रोटेक्टेड हिम. ही इज सेइंग दैट ही इज गोइंग टू बी the one of the great devotee of Lord. So don't and then he took Kayadhu, and the Kayadhu remained in the ashram of Narad Muni, and Narad Muni actually preached Prahlad when he was in her womb. And so Prahlad Maharaj at the age of 5 is fully learned. Narad Muni never saw him face to face, but whatever the instructions were given by Narad Muni while he was in womb, he remembered everything. And right from day one, he accepted Krishna Bhakti. He accepted remembrance of Lord to be the topmost devotional service. So he never forgot Lord. He never forgot Lord, and he always were had complete faith in the mercy given by Lord. So the previous chapters explain that when Prahlad became 5 year old, he was sent to Gurukul, operated by Shukracharya and his sons. And after a few days, he comes back, and Hiranyakashipu asked him, ki, "Oh son," and he's having a very loving relationship with him. No matter how Hiranyakashipu, how horrible Hiranyakashipu was for the outside world, he was very loving with his own son. And that's very natural. So he was asking, inquiring with him, what happened? How is your education going on? What are you learning? What is the tell me some of the most important things that you've learned. And Prahlad Maharaj speak about bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. At some time he says this and is astonished. Who's teaching you all this? And then he called his teachers and asked him what's happening here. In the first occasion, Prahlad Maharaj actually speak philosophy, said Grahamandha Kupam, and one should go to Vana like Vrindavan, and then he sent him back to Gurukul and instructed his teachers, the sons of Shukracharya, uh, to keep a close watch on him. What's happening? Who is teaching him all this? कौन सिखाता है ये वृंदावन जाने का, वन में जाने का? ये मेरा बेटा है. He should become more पराक्रमी than me. I want that to happen. So अगर मुझसे ये सब लोग डरते हैं तो he should go even defeat Vishnu, whom I have still not been able to catch hold of. Everybody else is my servant, but somehow Vishnu is not able to conquer. But my son should even conquer Vishnu. So he is saying ये सब करना चाहिए. ये क्या कर रहा है? वन में भक्ति कर रहा है. He is remembering Vishnu instead of becoming an enemy of Vishnu. He is becoming a devotee of Vishnu. So the Shukracharya's son, they inquire with him, and then Pradhan Maharaj tell them that they are unable to extract anything out of him. So ultimately, Hiranyakashipu says that जैसे शरीर में कोई कोई अवयव खराब हो जाता है, अगर उसको समय से निकाल नहीं दिया तो it will start infecting all other parts of the body, and the whole body can be threatened, can get destroyed. Similarly, ये मेरे ये मेरा पुत्र है, ये मेरे कुल का वंश है, but if he is infected by bhakti, is infected, he is becoming a devotee, and which is a which is a which is a shame, matter of shame for the असुर कुल. असुर कुल का कोई ग्लोरिफिकेशन नहीं होगा. मेरा पुत्र अगर भक्त बनेगा विष्णु का, न कि मेरा, तो असुर कुल में तो मेरी बदनामी होगी. एंड ऐसे पुत्र को समय में ही अगर मार दिया तो इसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है, बिकॉज देन अगर मैं इफ आई अलाउ प्रहलाद टू लिव एंड परफॉर्म डिवोशनल सर्विस टू विष्णु, tomorrow my whole kingdom can get infected and everybody becomes a devotee of Vishnu, and then who will listen to me? So with this justification he orders Prahlad to be killed, and his soldiers, through various ways and means, actually tried killing Prahlad. He was thrown out of a cliff. He was kept in amongst all the serpents, and everybody was trying to kill him in one way or the other. He was trampled under the feet of a mad elephant. Everyone was fearful of those huge mad elephant, but Prahlad kept remembering Krishna, kept had his faith in Krishna. He never forgot Krishna, and he was saved through all these attempts to kill him. So he's not complaining of that. He is not complaining to Lord Narasimhadev about all the torture that his father gave him. He's not even making any mention of it as well. He simply tolerated this. And but now he's saying, I am trastosmya aham, with the thought of becoming a worldly person, becoming a king, and then having a palace, enjoying vibes, enjoying opulence of a palace, winning battles, managing administration. And in all this, he's fearful that I will forget you, O Krishna. I will forget you, O my Lord. And if I forget you, how will I come to you? How will I attain the goal of my life, which is to come to you ultimately? So, how will you then be able to give me shelter of your lotus feet if I will keep busy myself in the worldly enjoyments and worldly duties, how will I be able to come to you, O Lord? And that is the real fear for Prahlad Maharaj. It's a matter of concern for Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, Narasimhadev appears from the pillar, fights with Hiranyakashipu and kills Hiranyakashipu. तृणु भिंगा, तृणु म्हणजे मतलब छोटा सा गवत होता है, गवत का पत्ता होता है, उसको जैसे हम तोड़ सकते हैं बहुत ही आसानी से, बहुत ही हल्के से, इतने आसानी से भगवान ने हिरण्यकश्यपु का वध कर दिया. न कि हिरण्यकश्यपु, बट उसके जितने सोल्जर्स थे, all of them they become mad and angry at Nrsimhadev, and they all attack Nrsimhadev at same time, and Lord Nrsimhadev killed all of them at one go, very easily, effortlessly. He just killed everyone, and there was a huge masquerade that took place in the palace of Hiranyakashipu. After this, isn't it a moment of celebration? Isn't it a moment of victory? It is actually a moment of victory for Prahlad. So, in this moment of victory, Prahlad is actually not joyful. This is how we see people celebrate victory. Normal celebration, sometimes we say abnormal celebration. Um, However, Prahlad Maharaj is in no mood to celebrate victory. Here we see, after killing everyone, Nrsimhadev went and sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. And all the devatas, they tried offering prayers to him, and he was still angry. He was not satisfied. Lakshmiji even refused to go to him, saying that I don't want to go and talk to him in this mood. So Brahmaji then requested Prahlad that Lord has taken this form for your protection. It is best if you can go and calm the Lord, can offer some prayers. So, and then Prahlad Maharaj comes forward. As you see, a beautiful small 5-year-old boy is stepping up and approaching Lord Narasimha, and speaking with him this beautiful verse that Trastosmya Aham. So so Lord appeared for the protection of his devotee. He accepted this form of half lion and half man, maintained all the conditions that Hiranyakashipu had kept with Brahmaji, that I should not be killed in the not nor in the day or nor in the night, not by a man or a animal or a demon or a devata. So Lord took form of a half lion and half human. Then neither by any shastra astra, so he was killed by his nails, neither inside nor outside. So he was killed on the umbartha हम जिसे बोलते हैं, on the doorstep, in this palace, now in the morning, afternoon, or evening. So he was killed at the moment of dusk, when just sun was just about to set. So it was neither afternoon nor it was night. So by meeting all the conditions that Hiranyakashipu had kept with Brahmaji, and then he practically thought, I am invincible now. Nobody can fulfill all these conditions and still come and kill me. So nobody can practically kill me. And with Brahmaji's mercy, he also got a very, very healthy body, very shining, young, youthful body. And though he had performed tapasya for hundreds and thousands of years, he was almost in his prime youth, and therefore he was enjoying the whole kingdom, enjoying the three world, the opulence of three world, and therefore he didn't kill devatas, but he said, I'll do them worse. I'll do worse with them. What will I do? I'll make them as keep them as servants in my palace, to serve me every day. So all the devatas, including Indra, was actually servant of Hiranyakashipu. So this Hiranyakashipu, this powerful Hiranyakashipu, this ferocious Hiranyakashipu, this cruel Hiranyakashipu, who could order killing of his own son, just by whose uh, this self-centered, selfish Hiranyakashipu, who only wanted himself to be worshipped in all the three lokas, and who hated Lord, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator, the ultimate creator, the ultimate maintainer, then the ultimate annihilator of this whole universe. He hated him. And that Lord, and that Prahlad was not fearful of that Hiranyakashipu, but he was fearful of falling getting trapped into the material entanglement, material world. So Prahlad is not in the mood to celebrate victory, because he is seeing that this victory will lead me to become king, and as a king, I will have kingdom, I will have administration, I will have opulence, I will have army, I will have to fight wars, I will have to have my wives, I will have to get married, I will have to have my children, and I will have to, I will simply get caught up in all these worldly duties, forgetting you, oh my dear Lord. Prahlad Maharaj is expressing humility. He is being humble here. So humility sometimes is also admitting our vulnerability. Humility is also sometimes admitting our vulnerability. We are all vulnerable to certain things. We all have some weaknesses, some things that can bring us down. Some temptations all of us probably would have retained through past indulgences, or even past life indulgences, which if pop-ups in front of us, we might become vulnerable to those. Even uh, if while practicing devotional service, we have temporarily we are forcibly keeping those aside. We are not indulging in those things, but the taste remains. Lord Krishna says that that in the third chapter, sixth verse, that the taste remains, taste for the same subject remains, and you can get caught by that anytime. If you lower your guard any given point of time, you might become get you might fall for those temptations. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that this is problem, this is a real big problem, and he's admitting it upfront with the Lord. He's admitting it upfront with the Lord. We may not have Lord to admit our vulnerabilities, but we should admit it with devotees of the Lord. We should open up ourselves with the devotees of Lord, expressing our humility we can express by admitting to our vulnerabilities. ये सब अगर होता है तो I can be problem. Then the devotees will suggest how we can still protect ourselves in the from those vulnerabilities, from those dangers. Prayers. Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very unique in the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, we see one after another different characters of different devotees of Lord go through different situations of distresses. Everyone goes through distresses. It's a story about how devotees suffer in one sense, and we'll see example of three devotees. And I'll request all of you to think of those pastimes and in very brief share those pastimes also. But Bhagavatam is not a big, not a practically, in general, we say when we interact with devotees, and often devotees ask us कि ये मेरे साथ क्यों होता है. मैं इतना अच्छा भक्ति भक्ति कर रहा हूँ, मैं रोज अगरबत्ती लगाता हूँ, मैं एक दो माला भी कर रहा हूँ, आपने बोला है तो भगवत गीता भी मैंने खरीदा है, घर पे रखा है, कभी खोलता भी हूँ, कभी लेक्चर्स भी सुन लेता हूँ, आते जाते कुछ काम नहीं होता है तो मैं लेक्चर भी सुन लेता हूँ, कभी कोई कॉमेडी लेक्चर्स होते हैं अमोक लीला प्रभु के तो वो भी सुन लेता हूँ. ये सब भक्ति कर रहा हूँ इतना अच्छा, बट फिर मेरे साथ बुरा क्यों हो रहा है. और वो जो कमीना मेरा दोस्त है वो कुछ नहीं करता है, उसका प्रमोशन हो रहा है, उसके सारे टारगेट्स अचीव हो रहे हैं, लोग उसकी वाह वाह कर रहे हैं, वो अपनी गाड़ी खरीद रहा है, नया घर खरीद रहा है, और मैं मेरे आई एम स्ट्रगलिंग विथ एवरीथिंग. ये भगवान ऐसा क्यों करते हैं. आई एम अ गुड पर्सन, व्हाई बैड थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग विथ मी. ऑफन दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चन पीपल हैव, and it's in the sense it's not completely wrong question. I mean, with all I mean I feel really for them, and they genuinely have this question, and a lot of people actually have shared this with me that मेरे साथ भगवान क्यों कर रहे हैं, इतना कौन सा मेरे साथ कठिन परीक्षा ले रहे हैं, मैं तो इतना अच्छा इंसान हूँ, एंड why is this happening with me? But Bhagavatam, we see that characters of Bhagavatam actually ask a different question. They are not asking the question why bad things are happening to me, or they obviously are devotees of Lord, so all of them are good people only. Many million time more good than all of us put together also, but they are not asking this question. So Bhagavatam changes the question itself, changes the twist the question itself. The ask not why bad things happen to good people, rather ask what good people do when bad things happen to them. I'll repeat, ask not why bad things are happening to good people, rather ask what good people do when bad things happen to them. What's the difference? Can anybody like to say something? Quick comments. What's the difference? ये क्या है? ये जगलरी वर्ड जगलरी है कि does it make some sense? Gokul Proji.
It's like Prabhu, like how good people react when
Not
any
able to
bad
no,
things
थोड़ा
happen to
माइक
them or how they
प्रभु
respond
जी,
to this.
प्रभु जी थोड़ा माइक से या थोड़ा come closer to the mic. You're not able to hear completely.
It's like how the good people respond when any bad things happen to them instead of
Okay.
how they react when bad things are happening to them.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sulekha Mataji, Amit, Meena Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। हाँ, जब हम पूछते हैं कि ऐसे क्यों हुआ, तो वो सिर्फ हमारा क्यूरियोसिटी होता है, उससे हमें कुछ गेन नहीं मिलेगा। पर उस टाइम गुड पीपल क्या करते हैं ये समझ में आया तो हमें एक सॉल्यूशन मिलेगा कि जब हमारे हमारे साथ ऐसे कुछ बैड हो जाएगा तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए, ये सॉल्यूशन मिलेगा हमें प्रभु जी।
Okay.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Good point. Amit Prabhu, then Vikas Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It seems like this is a complete change of perception of not dwelling in the past, rather really finding out how do we have to react in a situation which is otherwise tough. So rather than really going into the past and getting sad about it, it is rather the reaction which should be positive, and that is why I think so. These things are asked by good people that
Okay.
what do good
So
people do when
basically,
bad things
yeah,
happen?
not dwelling in past कि ये मेरे साथ क्यों होता है, rather thinking of a solution. What can be done in this situation? So accepting and then thinking of solution. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Vikas Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So already beautiful things have been said about Prabhuji and Mataji. So as Lord Krishna also mentions that karmanyavadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana. So that phaleshu is that what is happening with me, and that is not never in my control. And so and when something is not in my control, so why to be emphasizing too much onto that aspect of life which is not in my control? And whereas karmanyavadhikarasya, and at the same time Lord also adds that Mate Sangoswa Akarmani, that whatever is my karma, I should keep doing that. And when we see the other person, Yad Yad Acharti Shreshtas, Tat Tate Vitrojana, when we see that how they are actually living their life amidst those kind of situations only, and how they are coming out of it, uh, being devoid of any impatience, anxiety, and in the on the devotional front, they are becoming a wonderful, better and better devotee, or rather exalted devotee. So we have got an example also to follow. So just thinking why bad is happening to me will take me to the more and more anxiety, but this will make more and more clear if we will follow the Shrestha person, as scriptures are also telling us, and then
Okay.
we are also following the injunction of Lord. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
A couple of comments. It's not about complaining about the situation we are facing. We should be inquisitive, rather how we should react in our act in this situation. Padma is saying God is testing patience of good people up to what extent they can bear the problem. Some of the comments in the chat box. So yes, I think a lot of good comments, and yes, I mean, what good people do when bad things happen to them. Obviously, when bad happens, there will be inconvenience. However, good people have something additional in front of them, some additional uh, they have a goal which is higher uh, than which helps them respond differently than what most of the other people would have done. That's therefore they don't dwell in past, they accept the situation whatever it is, and they have higher knowledge and higher goals with which when they act, they are able to easily um, keep thinking of what needs to be done in every situation rather than why this situation has come. Getting caught up in that negative thought, they are always on the positive side. Let's see some examples. uh, can raise hand if you can describe this pastime in very brief way. Madhu, Manjiri, Devidasi. Yes. Very briefly, we have two more
Prabhuji, I
to
was
go,
not able
so
to see the screen. Okay, okay, now I'm able to see the screen. No, Prabhuji, actually the question I had raised my
okay,
uh,
okay, also
hand
I
for the
understand
earlier
previous
one because
question, sorry, yeah,
Vikas
that's
Prabhuji
fine.
already answered about the control thing.
Sorry,
Yes.
that's fine. This pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam, can anybody describe? Uh,
Yes, Prabhuji, this is
Hare,
about this is about Parikshit Maharaj putting the snake on the Rishi Shringi, the dead snake.
hmm, correct. And
Okay, I
for
just saw the
which,
picture.
what happened after this? His son
He
uh,
gave him the curse
curse that you will die in 7 days'
7 days.
time, right? So, uh, a small, it's a mistake, isn't it? Parikshit is a king and saintly king, Rajarshi. So, so this is a mistake. I mean, Brahmana, he was not welcomed by Brahmana while he was hunting in this forest, and he went to this ashram of this Rishi, and Rishi was sitting in meditation. So Maharaj, but he couldn't welcome Maharaj. Maharaj was thirsty. He couldn't welcome him. He couldn't offer him water. Couldn't offer him food. Maharaj Parikshit somehow felt very aggrieved by this. ऐसे कैसे करते हैं ऐसे? What is he doing? And then he picked up a dead snake which is lying around, lying nearby, and as a garland, he put it across around the neck of this rishi who is sitting in meditation. This is a mistake. And when his son, Rishi's son, heard this has happened with his father. Now, obviously, Sek is dead, so Rishi is perfectly safe. There's nothing wrong which has happened with him, but he's been insulted. A Brahmana has to be respected by king, not insulted by king. And this Rishi Kumar, when young, small Rishi Kumar gave curse to Parikshit Maharaj, that Parikshit Maharaj who was protected in the womb of Uttara by Krishna personally, from the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. So Lord, he got darshan of Lord in the womb of his mother. That Lord who came and protected him from Brahmastra while he was in the womb, that Parikshit Maharaj, that same Parikshit Maharaj who actually Dharma Samsthapanarthaya, who established the religion, the order, religious order in his kingdom. He was practically ruling the whole universe. And that Rishi Maharaj, that Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by this small Brahman Putra to to die in next 7 days. The snake will come and kill you, the bite you, and then that will become the reason for your death in the next 7 days. Another um, story. I'm just giving the clue. Bharat Maharaj. Anybody would like to share? Vikas Prabhu.
Hare
Very
Krishna,
brief.
Guruji, Dandavat Pranam. So here in this picture, actually, the mother of this cub deer was attacked by a lion, and she eventually died. And this cub took place. And Bharat Maharaj, who left his kingdom for just to find Lord for perform austerity for Lord, gets attached to this cub, and he eventually even leaves his body, even meditating on this the kid of the deer. And this shows us that how, like, and then he takes birth as a deer in the next life.
So So
Yes, Prabhuji.
somebody who could give up at a very young age, at one young age, it's not that he became very old, became useless, and then he was asked to go by his sons, kicked out of his palace. जाओ अभी वन में जाओ जरा भक्ति करो. क्या कर रहे हो यहाँ पैलेस में बैठ के? No, no. He was very young when he in his prime youth he was so much attracted towards Lord that he left the kingdom. He left all his, he made his young eldest son as divided his kingdom, became and handed over his kingdom to his sons, and he walked out of that kingdom, walked out of all the facilities, walked out of all the. He rejected all the opulence, all the facilities, all the enjoyment that's available with it, came to the forest, but got attached to the deer calf and became deer in his next birth, and then had to take another birth as Jada Bharat to finally complete his mission. Mission go back to Krishna was completed after two more births he had to take. Despite of having such an advanced stage he was in, but despite of that, he fell prey to the temptation. The third pastime is that of Rutrasur. Anybody else can also describe? Yes, Vikas Roji. I
Hare
don't see.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So he is actually Maharaj Chitraketu in his previous birth, and he was cursed by Mother Parvati, and then he had to take birth as Vritasur, and he
Why
was
was
actually at
curse?
because he smiled, and then when Mother Parvati came in the sabha and she sat on the lap of Lord Shiva, and then he not out of disrespectingly, but thinking that Lord Shiva is so exalted, and he couldn't actually, he didn't like the behavior of not in a very deeper sense, but on a lighter sense also, he didn't like that why Mother Parvati came and sat like that, and maybe Mother Parvati is
Okay,
not knowing the exalted position of
so
Lord
then
Shiva,
and
and
then
then
he took birth as a
as
demon.
Vritasur, as
Rutrasur.
Vritasur, yes, ma'am. And then this is it's the fight is going on with Indra, and then Indra was very terrified with his valor, and ultimately he only encourages Indra to use that thunderbolt, thunder onto him, so that I can be killed, because that was the solution was given by Lord Vishnu, and at the time of leaving body, then he was always meditating upon a Lord,
So
and
all
he
three
attained.
pastimes are examples of some mistake these exalted personalities did, as a result of which they were given some punishment. Now it's like a you jump a signal. Now there's a mistake, correct? Can you be given punishment of hang till death for jumping a signal? What's the problem with that? If you jump a signal, if you drive when the signal is red, and it government says that anybody who drives when the signal is red should be hanged till death. Now there is a mistake. You have a choice not to make mistake, but if you make a mistake and this is the punishment, do you see any problem with this punishment and this mistake and this punishment? What is the problem here?
The intensity of Hare Krishna Guruji, the intensity of making mistake is not that grave that it can be punished with like so much of intense punishment.
Yeah, the mistake 1 रुपए का है तो 1000 रुपए का पनिशमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए इन मॉनेटरी टर्म जस्ट टू मेक things clear. If a small mistake should be get we should get a small punishment, maybe 1000 rupees fine there though, 500 rupees fine there though. And till death is a very huge punishment. So these all of these personalities made some mistake, and they were not that grave mistakes. So for some mistake they were given huge punishments. Like for this, Parikshit Maharaj was cursed that you will die in next 7 days. And for this mistake, Bharat Maharaj was actually had to take two more birth, had to got caught up into the cycle of repeated birth and death. Vrutrasur also had to take another birth and live life of a demon. What's fun? You're such an advanced devotee, you could have ended your cycle of repeated birth completely in that last life, but he also had to take demon's body, then create havoc by fighting a war with devatas, and finally preach to Indra, preach to Indra, and then finally force Indra to use Vajra to get killed and then go back to Krishna. So they had to struggle very hard for attaining their ultimate objective, which is going back to Krishna. So what is a what is the case? How when in this backdrop, how do we see what Prahlad Maharaj is getting? Prahlad Maharaj was getting tortured like anything, was getting punishment. What was his mistake and what was his punishment? What is the proportion of this? Can somebody throw some light on that? Now, what was Prahlad's mistake? Now we see Parikshit did some mistake. Parikshit Maharaj did some mistake. Bharat Maharaj, we can put a finger that maybe they made some mistake there. Maybe they should not have done that. But let's come to our pastime of Prahlad Maharaj. We know how much torture Prahlad Maharaj went through. Did what deserved him that kind of a torture? And so, if when we get into difficult situations, often we ask a question to ourselves or to devotees or to others: what have done to deserve this? So, what is Prahlad Maharaj? Why Prahlad Maharaj has been getting this kind of a torture? What did he do? What was his only mistake, or if so-called mistake? From Hiranyakashipu's point of view, it was a mistake, but somebody else other than Vikas Prabhuji, take a guess. It's fine. Sulekha Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
हरे हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
हाँ प्रभु जी। उनकी मिस्टेक यही है कि उन्होंने डेमन के घर जन्म लिया और वो आ, पूरी तरह शरणागत भगवान विष्णु को थे।
Correct.
हरे कृष्ण।
Gokul Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, the reason for his suffering might be he was born into a clan of Asuras, so his mindset might be like that, but unfortunately, due to Narada Muni's advice to his mother when he was in his mother's womb, he actually cultivated the right thing where he surrendered to Krishna. So in
So,
his past life, he might be
ima-
a demon actually.
imagine उनके फादर के साथ उनका कॉन्वर्सेशन होता होगा. What is his father only wish? क्या चाहते हैं उनके पिता उनसे कि बस भगवान विष्णु का नाम लेना छोड़ दो. Isn't it? अगर उनको तो कंप्लीट फ्रीडम है. भगवान हिरण्यकशिपु ने खुद ने इतने he has created so much trouble in the world. Who can so there is nothing Prahlad can do that can worry Hiranyakashipu. मतलब किसी को पकड़ लिया, किसी को लूट लिया, दो चार मर्डर कर दो, किसी का रेप कर दो, किसी को उठा लेके आओ. He had complete freedom to do anything because Hiranyakashipu himself has done all of those things. So Hiranya and Kashipu, the one who Hiranya is gold and golden bed. What these two things are associated with? He is completely a gone case himself. So प्रहलाद महाराज अगर वो सारी गलत चीजें करते तो हिरण्यकशिपु would have actually felt very proud कि हाँ ये मेरा बेटा है, and he would have completely had no problem with Prahlad Maharaj doing any of those things. But he had simply just one problem. His problem is instead of becoming my devotee, he is becoming Vishnu's devotee. He is not able to give up a devotion to Vishnu, devotion to Lord Krishna, remembrance of Lord Krishna. His only mistake was he was trying to remember Krishna, which is in fact the right thing. But from Hiranyakashipu's point of view, this is his biggest mistake. Swapnil, you have hand raised. Any question, any comments, or you have
Hare
anything?
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. I think you were explaining the same thing. I think Hiranyakashipu thought Vishnu as his, as his prime Shatru, enemy. And the other part is that Hiranyakashipu, because he had some powers, he had developed pride and false ego, both false pride and false ego. And he wanted same thing to be carried out along with his own, with his own subjects. He told that he should be praised as a lord. And when Prahlad Maharaj did not agree to it, and he kept on chanting Vishnu's name, his false pride and false ego got hurt.
Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Yes, Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yes. So we are discussing the same point, that the only प्रॉब्लम हिरण्यकशिपु हैड इन प्रहलाद इज दैट वो पढ़ाई भी नहीं करता तो भी चलेगा, आप कुछ नहीं करना है, दैट इज दैट आल्सो कुड हैव बीन, ही वुड हैव टॉलरेटेड इट, कि आपको आर्मी नहीं सीखना है। आई मीन व्हाट वाज हिज टीचर्स टीचिंग? इकोनॉमिक्स, फिलोसॉफी। ही वाज नॉट टीचिंग फिलोसॉफी बट ही वाज टीचिंग डिप्लोमेसी, strategy, economics, warfare, all of those things which are necessary for a young prince to become king tomorrow, were taught in those schools, and he was not interested in all of that. So he was interested in bhakti, because none of those things will take help him go back to Krishna. Only remembrance of Lord will help him go back to Krishna. So Prahlad, being preached by Narad Muni, um, got his mind corrupted completely, and that is what Hiranyakashipu couldn't tolerate. आप इतने से हो, छोटू से हो, 5 साल के हो, वहां पे इंद्र मुझसे डर रहा है, वहां पे everyone is fearful of me, there is nobody who has guts to even speak in front of me, stand in front of me, and you are so tiny, so you're my own son, so tiny, so powerless and helpless, you're alone here, ऐसा नहीं कि गैंग है आपका, and you dare defy my order. How dare you do this? Now this was the only problem with that Hiranyakashipu had, and for that one simple problem, he was being given the biggest possible punishment, when they ordered for his killing. If Krishna loves his devotee, how does the question often comes that, how Krishna protects and why Krishna don't protect every now and then, मेरा जॉब गया, कृष्णा कर क्या रहा था, मेरे बीवी ने मुझे छोड़ दिया, my husband left me, my children are not listening to me, what is Krishna doing? Sometimes, so how do we see these situations in life of so-called devotees, or we don't should not even consider ourselves as proper devotees also. So how does Krishna loves his devotee? Now it's very similar to how we love our children. Krishna loves his devotee like how parents love their children. Sometimes mothers are protective of their children. They want to protect their children from going on the road, going onto the street. So they will always keep an eye on them, keep a watch on them, कि डोर खोल के डोर बंद रखेंगे, या sometimes we have in Mumbai, we especially we have we have we have a safety door, which is transparent, but where from the through which you can see the other person who is there. So and so the safety door and big doors, there are 2 3 doors, they are used by parents to, so just to make sure that the children remain in the home, which can have bolt up, where children will not be able to open. So we want to protect children from going out, getting themselves hurt, falling down. So we want, this is also an expression of love. This is also an expression of love by mother, by child, by father. But the same father and mother will sometimes put their children, instead of protecting them, they will put them in danger, especially when children are learning to walk. They are happy crawling, but their parents some stage of their life, they will force them to stand and then walk and then run, then ride a bicycle. Now each of these action, actually children are comfortable crawling, but when they are made to stand, at some stage in their life, they sometimes fall down and hurt themselves. Now, children may learn how to stand, but when they are taught to walk, Again, there is a danger that they may fall down and hurt themselves. But parents are increasingly constantly exposing their children to a newer and newer danger. Why they do that? Because they want their children to grow. They want their children to grow. So safety is not always in the protection, but sometimes their parents want to prepare children for the danger. Prepare children for the danger, and they want children to learn and grow in the process. So child who is happy crawling learn how to stand. Later he learns how to walk. Later he learn how to run. And the same child now can sit on a bicycle and ride his bicycle very fast. And in the process many times he will fall down and hurt himself. And parents are ready to take that risk. They rather allowed that controlled risk in the whole process. And children actually fall down. Many times they hurt themselves. They again help them go, they cure them and help again push them into the same thing until they start learning. So the love expression of love has two aspect. One is protection and one is growth. When Krishna also can love, actually loves us in the same way. Sometimes Krishna will protect us from the dangerous situation, just like how a mother will protect child from going out and going out and or falling down from a height, or in many ways the mothers and parents will protect their children. um, but sometimes Krishna will want a child to face the danger also, so that child learns to how to grow, how to deal with that danger and grow in the process. Similarly, um, Krishna loves us too much. Krishna loves us as we are, but Krishna loves us too much to allow us to stay as we are. Krishna don't want us to stay as we are. He loves us too much to allow us to stay as we are. So Krishna want us to change, just like parent want their children to change. You know, parent are happy when they see their child crawling on in the inside the home, but they love their child too much that they don't want their child to crawl for rest of their life. They want the child to stand, later walk, later run. So they will constantly expose their children to the risk, newer and newer risk, so that child can learn, child can grow, and child can thrive eventually. Similarly, Krishna want us to change, want us to do what is told by him in Bhagavad Gita, and ultimately come back to him. He want us to come back to him more than we want to go back to him. His desire for us to come back to him is more than our desire to go back to him. And that is why Krishna will constantly keep us exposed to some risk or the other. Despite of all this risk, we still don't want to go to him. So if imagine if he removes all the risks from our life, all the reversals and the difficulties in our life, we we may never get a desire only to go back to Krishna. And that is what Krishna don't want. Krishna want all of us to come back to him. Let's study this through a diagram. I think we do this often. So there are four quadrants we see. One is there is no danger and no devotional service. Second is there is danger but no devotional service. Third is there is danger and there is devotional service. Fourth one is there is no danger but there is devotional service. Let's see how does it mean? What does it mean? So box one is when there is no danger and no devotional service. This is a difficult situation. Uh, it's like you are sick and there is no medicine, and the sickness is worsening, the pain is worsening, and there's no cure also. Now, this is a worst case situation, worst case scenario. that you have a situation, you have a painful situation. uh, in painful situation, when person is in pain, the two things are given to him. One is pain medication, so that the pain is minimized, and second is um, the disease is cured. The cure is also given. So two type of medications are given generally. One which will reduce pain, and second which will actually help get the cure. When we have pain, when in this box one, when we are in the pain, and we have when so box one is there is no danger, there's no danger, but there's no devotional service. Box two is when there is a danger, but there's no devotional service. So let's see what box one is. When there is no danger, uh, no danger and no devotional service, one becomes atheist. Because now you practically have no need for God. There's no conception of God required, because there's no danger means because of Lord's arrangement, everything is all right happening in your life, and whatever you have, you are kind of satisfied with your life. Uh, so this is a place where gross materialist or complete sense gratification, life focus only on sense gratification, can be lived. There is no major danger, but there is no devotion. Second box is there is danger in present, and but there is no devotion. Now, this is where people crib and blame God for their problems. So there is danger, which means they have problems in their hand, but they don't have bhakti. They are unable to take shelter of God. So if from one, for example, if one is in box one, suddenly life is not constant. We may have no danger and no devotion today, but tomorrow we may wake up with some sickness, and suddenly we have a danger but there is no devotion. In that case, we will crib and we will blame God for our problem. We will say that God is unfair. Since there is no understanding of scriptures, they will continue to suffer. Third situation is where Prahlad Maharaj was. There is a danger and there is a devotion also. Now, Prahlad Maharaj was in this third box. That there's a danger present. Every now and then, he was being attempted to kill by Hiranyakashipu and his soldier. But there is devotion also. He's constantly facing danger, but constantly also taking shelter of Krishna. Have firm faith that if Krishna wants to save, protect, he will protect. If Krishna wants me to be killed, he will kill. I have no independence. I'm completely surrendered to Krishna, and his will is my destiny. I will accept whatever Krishna want. And with that thought, he's constantly remembering Krishna, completely dependent on Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj was in this box for during the time when Hiranyakashipu was torturing him. The fourth box is more important. Fourth box is when the danger goes away, but devotion remains. Now, this is a real test. This is a real test. See, in this box, third box, when there is a danger, and if you have mercy from devotee and Krishna, you will have bhakti also. Now, bhakti, this is called circumstantial devotion or bhakti out of no other choice. One is in so much danger, so much pain. We say that arto jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharata varshava. The four type of people who comes to me, Krishna says in 16, 15 and 16th verse in the 7th chapter, that these four type of people, look, arto is the one who is in distressful condition. If life may people sometimes get caught up in so much painful situations one after another. एक आया, एक से डील कर रहे हैं, तभी दूसरा आता है, तीसरा आता है, constantly one after another. One is constantly facing life challenges, life problems, that sometimes, and that time they take wholehearted shelter of Krishna, wholehearted shelter of God. And it's like they have no other choice left. you know they have no alternative left. So out of no alternative available, they surrender completely to the Lord. This is circumstantial devotion, the bhakti out of no other choice or completely desperation. कंप्लीट डेस्परेशन में हम भगवान की तरफ आते हैं, बोलते कि अभी आपको रखना है तो रखो, नहीं तो मारना है तो मारो, जो चाहिए वो करो. Now this is a situation that one may come into when one is facing series of problems, series of unending problem, and many times in life we go through a phase where which is like completely downfall. सब जो करते हैं उसका उल्टा होता है. निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि च केशव. कुछ अच्छा करने जाते हैं, बुरा होता है. एंड वन आफ्टर अनदर फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम होते हैं, वो डील करते हैं तो रिलेशनशिप इशू आ जाते हैं, वो उसको डील करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तब हेल्थ इश्यूज आ जाते हैं. एंड वन थिंग लीड्स टू अनदर एंड वी आर लाइक इन द विशियस सर्कल, डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. ऐसे हालात में मोस्टली वी नो वी जस्ट टेक शेल्टर ऑफ गॉड. समटाइम्स वी टेक शेल्टर ऑफ गॉड आउट ऑफ सच डेस्परेट सिचुएशंस. But assume those desperate situations are cured. You know, प्रहलाद महाराज के, हम उतने भाग्यवान तो है नहीं कि नरसिंहदेव आएंगे, बट assumes for by Lord's grace, some of our problems are taken care of and we feel reasonably comfortable. Now there is no danger, but there is devotion. Now this is where this is a test of our devotion. Ki if we are true devotees, if we have learned our devotion, if we know why we are devotee, if we know the goal of our life, then danger or no danger, we will continue to be remain a devotee. We'll continue to become a devotee. Will remain a committed devotee if there is danger, if there is no danger, despite of that. And Prahlad, that is a real test of devotion. Now, this is intentional devotion. Intentionally we are trying to become devotees of Lord. We have a higher goal in our life. We don't want immediate solutions to my immediate problems. I have a long term goal in my mind. I have a long term goal to go back to Krishna in my heart. And for that, I want to become devotee of Lord Krishna. This is intentional devotion, performing bhakti out of love. And even when we have choice not to perform bhakti, we are in comfortable position, but we still perform bhakti because it is right thing to do. It is, we love Krishna, therefore we are trying to become devotees of Krishna. We want to go back to Krishna, therefore we want to constantly cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna. So this is intentional devotion. There was an ad by Ford few years back, quite a few years back. Buy it because it's better car. You can choose any color you want as long as it is black. Henry Ford. What it is saying essentially, somebody can make a quick comment, unmute and make quick comment. You can choose any color you want as long as it's black. It's
You have
giving,
no choice but to choose black. So
yeah.
similarly, we have no choice but to choose the devotional service. Otherwise, the miseries are waiting for
It
us.
is shown as
Right.
if you are given a choice, but actually there is no choice because they want you to just choose black. So we should also not remain a circumstantial devotee. We should become intentional devotees. Circumstantial devotees are become devotees out of no other choice. You know, a boy may go to a girl and propose her for marriage, and then she may ask him a question, why you want to marry me? A boy may say, because nobody else wants to marry me. Is that the only reason why you want to marry me? Oh, I'm not going to marry you because that is there's no love. I mean, what is it? Because nobody else wants to marry you, you come and ask me for marriage. That's not fair. So so we should not become Lord's devotee like that. You know, we should become we should intentionally practice bhakti. We should to get that intent right, we should acquire knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. Why we should become devotee of Lord. What is the benefit? What if we don't become devotee of Lord? Machitta sarva durgani mat prasadan tarishyati. Uh, अथ चेत्वत्वम अहंकारात न श्रोस्यसि विनक्ष्यसि. अगर तुमने मेरी इंस्ट्रक्शंस नहीं सुने तो यू विल all your endeavors will be lost. All you will be destroyed. So why you want to get destroyed? Why you want to become a kripana? To become devotee, utilize your human form of life and go back to Krishna. That's it. So don't become a circumstantial devotee. This practice out of no other choice. And intentional devotee practice despite of having all other choices. Circumstantial devotee, child in the womb prays to Lord that he will not mess up once he will come out. Give this description comes in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where child actually prays to Lord like that. But the moment he comes out of that helpless situation, moment child comes out, he forgets his promise and becomes the worldly person. And he mess up again. He get caught up in the world's activity again. The same activities which Prahlad Maharaj is also fearing that he will have to undertake. And he didn't want it to undertake, because he says that there is a danger. I may fall for temptations. I may lose. I may forget you, O Lord, and I don't want to do that. So he is expressing his desire to become and remain devotee for the whole life, and we should also do that wholeheartedly. Uh, devote by This is wholeheartedly done by devotees with all sincerity and seriousness. This is most pleasing to Lord. When we intentionally trying to become devotee of Lord, we have a desire to love and serve God. That pleases Lord the most. Dukhalaya Mashashvatam, one of the most telling image or a speaking image. We say that image can speak thousand words. This is our condition. This is our condition. This We're trying to eat food like this, and then the vulture of time is waiting to devour us, just waiting for us to fall down so that he can come and devour us, just waiting for the right time. uh, Khalaya Shashwatam is not false. Actually, it is like this. So in the life, we we may have another chart. No material wealth, no spiritual wealth. um, no material wealth, but you have spiritual wealth, you have bhakti. Then you have material wealth as well and spiritual wealth also. And no material wealth, but you have spiritual wealth. How these four circumstances can be looked at from this pastime. So this is where, when there is no material wealth and there is no spiritual wealth, this is a worst case scenario. We spoke about the disease metaphor, and this is actually applicable to for this situation. When you have no material wealth can give us some comfort, and spiritual wealth can give us cure. So this is like a medication where we can we reduce immediate pain, and for a long term recovery we give curative medicines. But when there is no material wealth and also there is no spiritual wealth, this is a worst case situation. This is increasingly miserable condition. No hope for comfort unless mercy causeless mercy come from Krishna or his devotees. uh, the first situation is there is no material wealth और नो स्पिरिचुअल वेल्थ. आपके पास कुछ भी नहीं है, मटेरियली भी आप पुअर हो और ऑपुलेंस नहीं है, एंड स्पिरिचुअली भी भक्ति नहीं है. दिस अ वर्स्ट केस सिचुएशन. सेकंड सिचुएशन इज यू हैव मटेरियल कंफर्ट but there is no spiritual wealth. People have material comforts and knowledge to exploit the world's resources. They become arrogant and proud. Hiranyakashipu was in this box. So there's no, but because he didn't had bhakti, he had everything that the world could have offered him, but he had no bhakti, and because of which he became arrogant and proud. Third part is where there is material wealth and there is spiritual wealth. When Prahlad Maharaj became king, he was in this box. Now they when like Yudhishthir Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Priyavrata Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, they had bhakti and they also had kingdom of this whole world. So this is the best case situation. And the fourth situation is where we have uh, no material wealth, but we have spiritual wealth. Now, no material wealth can give us sometimes uncomfort, can put us into uncomfortable position. But if we hold on to our spiritual wealth, our bhakti, we will find a way out of this situation always. So when Prahlad Maharaj was tortured, he was in a discomfortable position at a material level, at a bodily level, but he had unflinching faith on Krishna. So because of that, he never got affected by whatever was done to him. The miracle in this pastime is not how Prahlad was saved. The miracle in this pastime, whole pastime, is not how miraculously Prahlad was saved, but the real miracle is how he could maintain his unflinching faith despite of so much hardship. Real miracle is how he could maintain unflinching faith on Krishna despite of so much of hardship, despite of going through so much difficulties. His faith, his remembrance of Krishna was never lost even once. This is the real miracle. Not if this is possible, then the other one is very easy, because nothing is impossible for Lord. So, how to deal with situations when we are in danger or we are in such distress condition? Ultimately, it has to uh, be applicable to us. We have to see what we can get out of it for our own self as well. So, when we get ourselves into distressful danger or situation or distressful condition because of whatever the situation at home is and in our personal life, could be primary issues, could be health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, uh, or like war, like dangers, no, our exposure. If we happen to be living in a place where we are directly affected by war like situations, uh, whatever the whatever is that distress, whatever is that problematic situation in our life, what can we do? How can we deal with that? We can, one suggestion we learn from this pastime is that we can change focus of our mind from what we expect from Lord to what we can do for Lord in every situation. We can shift the focus of our mind from what we expect from Lord to what we can do for Krishna in every situation. This is very empowering shift and will release us immediately from any stressful condition. In every situation, we can find out what we can do for Lord. Is it easy said than done, or has it been done by devotees? It's been done by many devotees, including Srila Prabhupada. So, Srila Prabhupada served Krishna in every condition that Krishna put him into. So, when he had nothing, uh, he was still remembering and serving Krishna. He was always thinking of how best he can serve Krishna in every situation. He never asked a question, why is this happening with me? He always had a question, what can I do for Krishna in this situation? How can I serve Krishna in this situation? What can I do for you, O Krishna? That was the only question Prabhupada kept asking. And how can I serve you, O Krishna? That was the only question Prabhupada was searching answers for in every situation. When he had nothing, that time also he was doing the same thing. And when he conquered the world, when he went around the world 14, 15 times, he had 100 plus temples open, thousands of devotees, followers following him everywhere. When he had everything, he still kept asking that question, what can I do for you? How can I serve you, O Lord, in this situation? And he kept, so he was at times, Prabhupada also saw many reversals in his life. For 40 years, he tried preaching in India. He didn't have one disciple in India. When he left for US at the age of 70, he couldn't even make one disciple. He didn't have one disciple. So he, in from a material point of view, his preaching in India was a failure. We can label it as a failure because he couldn't, as a sannyasi also, he didn't have one simple desire. One simple, not even one disciple. The only wealth that he possessed at that time was Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, translated into English, published as a box of three, as a 3 volume book. That was his only wealth, and that was his only weapon with which he went to America. In America, also for 1 year, Prabhupada struggled extremely hard, lived amongst hippies, drunkard people, unclean people, undeserving people. They didn't deserve a sannyasi to live with them. They didn't know how to deal with a sannyasi. He was being mistreated, very very poorly treated, and he struggled extremely hard for 1 year for survival also. So Prabhupada was never discouraged. At times he was perplexed, but he was never discouraged. Perplexed means he didn't knew what to do every time, but perplexed means sometimes he would be confused how to serve Krishna. But he never was discouraged. He never asked a question whether I should continue to serve Krishna or not. That was never a question. That was never a question that arises in his mind. He was always wanting to serve Krishna till the last breath of his life. And he did that actually until that last breath of his life. He was serving Krishna, chanting Krishna, translating Bhagavatam, serving devotees, serving the mission, and left behind a legacy for us to manage. So, Prabhupada, his desire to serve Krishna was never lost. Krishna has given this instruction, is 17.16, chant and be happy. Many times it is represented as one sentence, one instruction, chant and be happy, seeing mostly as a cause and effect. That if you chant, you become happy. That's true, that's all right. But it can also be looked at as a separate two instructions, chant. Second instruction, be happy. Why? Because mana prasada sanyamya. Mana prasada, happiness is a choice we can exercise in every situation. If we choose to serve Krishna in every situation, we will always can choose to be happy in every situation. Uh, so happiness doesn't depend on what we have, but happiness can then depend on our mood to serve Krishna. And as long as we are able to retain our desire to serve Krishna, as long as out of love we can continue to be happy in every situation. We may not be comfortable, but we can always be happy. Happiness is a matter of choice. So we can choose to be happy always. Last point, devotees know, devotees also don't know what future hold for us. Devotees don't become fortune tellers. Krishna only says in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that I know past, present, and future of everyone and everything. But devotees don't claim to do that. Devotees don't claim to know the future. Devotees don't know what even their own future hold for themselves. But devotees know who holds their future. Who, as a devotee, we should know who holds our future. It is Krishna. Our future will be determined by Krishna. We don't know what it is right now, but it will be determined by Krishna. Krishna's will survive. Whatever Krishna want, that will happen. We must strive to become intentional devotees, even though we might have come to Krishna consciousness due to difficult circumstances. No matter how we came to Krishna consciousness, now we are in Krishna consciousness, we should try to become intentional devotees. Keeping full faith in Krishna, we should look to serve Krishna in every situation. Devotee association and devotional service will help us remain focused in our effort throughout our life and also at the end of our life. So let's take a summary how Krishna protects. We started by discussing the verse. We looked at two verses, the 15th and 16th verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 15th and 16th verse, which is Prahlad Maharaj has just begun to offer prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. And the initial two prayers, only the 15th prayer, Prahlad Maharaj says, I'm not fearful of Lord. While he says so, everyone else was fearful of Lord. Just by seeing him, Hiranyakashipu was fearful. Just by seeing his ferocious mood, even after killing of Hiranyakashipu and his army, even Devatas were fearful. So Prahlad says, "I am not fearful of Lord," and he describes his beautiful features, uh, which are actually causing fear in the heart of other people. Prahlad is describing those uh, those 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 you know those bodily features as the most beautiful decorations
Prabhuji, we cannot hear.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Guruji. Dandavat Pranam. Little bit, the voice has got reduced, Guruji.
voice has got reduced. Is this better?
Yeah, Guruji, fine.
All right.
Fine.
Yeah. So we're discussing about the how the recap, basically the 15th and the 16th verse, where Prahlad Maharaj describe that why he's not fearful of Lord. While he is not fearful about Lord, he in the 16th verse he says, "I am fearful of my me falling prey to the material temptations, the situations which will entangle me in the material world, which will bind me, which will force me to do karmic actions, and which will lead to reactions, which will which will actually bound me in the cycle of repeated birth and repeated death, O Krishna. And in this situation, if I become king, if I become, accept my palace, accept my wives, accept produce children, and administration, can spend all my time doing administration of the world, I will have no time left. I will not be able to remember you, O Lord. And in that situation, I will go away from my bhakti yoga, my devotional service, and I will forget you. I will forget you, and I will not be able to come back to you, which is the ultimate goal for human life. Uh, so this is the real danger. Our real danger for us is not in losing our loved ones. Well, that will give some inconvenience. It is painful as well at times. Our real danger is not falling sick or losing job or not getting promotion or not being able to complete our meet our targets, not having a lot of savings, not able to buy third and fourth home or third and fifth, fourth car, not able to go on foreign holidays. Not these are not problems of life. Problems of life is getting caught up in the karma bandha, and getting caught up into the, because of which getting caught up into the repeated birth and repeated death cycle, and not being able to achieve Krishna, not being able to go back to Krishna is the real danger. Everything else will come. The life will, the reversals in life will come. Uh, Even if we don't want it, they will come. Just like comforts will come, the reversal will come. We like just like how Prahlad Maharaj, due to unflinching faith in Lord, he could remember Krishna without deviation. And because he remembered Krishna uh, with full faith, he had no other recourse. Lord protected him from all dangers. When I say all dangers, he protected him from physical dangers, also spiritual dangers. Lord assured him that you will never fall prey to any temptations in the material world. You can continue. Lord requested him to become king. You know, Lord said, "You have to become king. You must become king. You please become king and rule this world. You will not get affected by the material world in any way." That promise Lord gave him. And with Lord's assurance, only he became king of this whole universe. So we saw that big awareness of our vulnerabilities is also humility. Prahlad Maharaj knew that if he may get caught in the world, worldly things, the world, once after kings, if he were to become king of that huge emperor, obviously he would have got caught up into the many enjoyments which comes along with the title of being king of the universe. And he says all of that, all of those are very uh, dangerous. We see those enjoyments as dangers. We see enjoying situations as goal of life. Prahlad Maharaj is actually seeing those as the dangerous events in his life, and he wants protection from those events. We may want protection from all other events so that we can indulge into those those enjoying situations. So it's a completely opposite mentality of a worldly person and of a devotee. We are probably somewhere in between, uh, hopefully on the devotional side, but we could very much be more on the worldly side as well, depending how much serious we are in devotional service. So uh, problems in material life will come and go, all driven by our past own good, bad, ugly karma. And we shouldn't bother about them too much. We should deal with them as and when they come, but they will come for sure. As we have taken the body, जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि तो कम से कम आएगा, और ये सब आते आते और 10 प्रॉब्लम साथ में लेके आएंगे. So they will come. It's just a matter of time when they will come. It's not if they will come. So they are sure to come. Because we have taken birth in the material world, we will be subjected to those problems of life, just like every other living entity. What we should then do is should just simply aspire to cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna by becoming an intentional devotee of Lord Krishna. We should become intentional devotee of Lord Krishna, knowing the goal of devotional service, knowing why we want to become devotee of Lord Krishna, knowing what we will be able to achieve by becoming devotee of Krishna, knowing how the cycle of repeated death, birth and repeated death are binding for a soul in the material world. How we are suffering in the material world, birth after birth, by accepting newer and newer parents and trying to enjoy in different bodies. We neither get enjoyment nor get cure for the enjoyment. So with this, we should perform devotional service. We should perform devotional service in association of devotee, and to attain the above objective of constantly remembering Krishna throughout our life, and ultimately that will help us go back to Krishna. Our different situations will come to us, and we should deal with those situations as and when they come, knowing fully why they are coming. They are coming because of my own past bad actions. So I shouldn't invest too much in discussing those or worrying about those. We should mitigate, deal with those as and when they come, if they come. uh, but we should constantly focus on the larger goal. Larger goal is to attain Krishna. Larger goal is to become devotee of Krishna. Perform devotional, intentional devotional service towards Krishna. Not accidental, not circumstantial. ये नहीं कि और कुछ नहीं हो रहा है मुझसे तो ये करता हूँ. Intentional. We should know why we are doing it, and then we should do it with all our determination, all our heart. So with this, we have facility for performing of such devotional service, intentional devotional service, through Zoom and through evening chat, Zoom sessions. We have chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra starting at 4:45 to 7:30, and chat every day from 8:30 to 9:15. With this, let's see if anybody has any questions before we conclude today's session. Yes, Gokul Prabhuji, and then Vikas Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, when it comes to the devotion, like as you explained with the quadrant, so what type of devotion did Arjuna follow? Because at the war, he was completely null without knowing anything, and finally he completely surrenders to Krishna, asking for guidance. So, was it a situational or was it like beyond situational when he was surrendering to Krishna at his hardest time?
Sorry, at his hardest time, Arjuna was in the same box as Prahlad Maharaj. Arjuna also went through, had to suffer a lot during the Vanvas. The gambling match was also a very forgettable experience for the Pandavas. They didn't deserve anything. They didn't deserve any of those things. But despite of that, they continued asking a question: how we can serve Krishna in every situation, instead of asking a question: why this happened to us? Why did this happen? Why Shakuni cheated? Why Duryodhana is trying to kill us? Why Duryodhana trying to poison us? Why Duryodhana is trying to burn us alive? Uh, well, whenever those situations arise, they mitigated those situations, but they continued to perform devotional service to Lord Krishna. So they never, their faith in Krishna never reduced. They also had this unflinching faith in Krishna always, and because of which they were also protected.
Okay, Prabhu, I can understand because even the elephant Gajendra also calls Krishna at his most hardest time, and yet he offers flowers. Even he knows that he's in a situation only Krishna can save him from the crocodile.
Correct, correct. So we could have taken Gajendra's example also. Gajendra also became Gajendra because of the mistake that he did. A small mistake, but a huge punishment. That he was also a good example. He was sitting in meditation when the rishi came, approached him, and he didn't pay attention. He didn't welcome the Rajarshi in the way he should have been, and then he said, "You are sitting here like an elephant. Become elephant in your next birth." And Indradanya Maharaj actually becomes elephant in his next birth. And then as a Gajendra, he gets he goes back to Krishna, goes back to the spiritual world in the Gajendra body after giving up Gajendra's body. But he was also an example of small mistake but huge punishment.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Google Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Vikas Prabhuji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Uh, um, I don't have any question, Prabhuji, but it was like hearing to this session gives us more in-depth knowledge that how Lord Krishna is involved so much, and we are not able to perceive it. And as you mentioned in the beginning, that current geopolitical situation is going on like that. So I was literally caught up for one day in that, and I could see that as you are ending with that association of devotees and the scriptures actually keep us afloat, keep giving us the association of Lord Krishna, or remembrance of Lord Krishna, or how we can uh, turn towards the intentional devotional service of Lord Krishna. So that is actually that I could literally perceive in this last couple of days, and it was literally wonderful. It was giving solace to heart that there nothing is in our control, but here something is at least in our control, and which can deepen more and more by being in hearing, being in that situation of hearing constantly to the devotees who give so much of give so much of the solace to the soul, that ultimately this is the thing that is required to be done. Otherwise everything else is just happening here. And also one thing came to my mind was that I was hearing to one devotee that who mentioned that Lord Krishna actually at times keep giving us the same situation repeatedly. And I was constantly contemplating on this, that why he was saying like that, because he didn't elaborate it upon on that. And then now listening to your this session, actually this came that actually ultimately these are ultimately Lord Krishna wants our that is the weak link of our life, and he wants to make it very very strong, so that ultimately we don't sleep away on whenever this kind of situation comes in our life. So it was so wonderful, means so many teachings were embedded in this. So thank you very much for this beautiful session. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, I mean, it's difficult to see for us what Krishna's thought process is. So a child, imagine a child, having fallen down multiple times. Again, when he see parent coming with another bicycle, again pushing him to ride after experiencing falling down. Imagine what a child must be thinking. 4 बार तो मैं गिर गया, अभी ये 5वें बार गिरना है मुझे, वापस साइकिल पे बिठा रहे हैं ये लोग. Naturally a child is going to think like that, but a parent knows this is good for him. A parent still wants him to take another shot at by riding a bicycle, because if he learn, he will be able to ride nicely. Same goes for swimming. So we we experience pain from a child's point of view. It's a trauma child is experiencing while he falls down, get hurt, goes to doctor. Again, next day morning, again he see another cycle in front of him. He say, "Oh, बाप रे, अभी वापस we have to go through this." अब वापस मैं गिरूंगा, एंड गिरते गिरते some stage will come when he will start writing and then he will enjoy. uh, so it's difficult for us to think when we are going through a difficult situation, what is it is for. It is for our growth, or it is, but we should know who is giving it. If Krishna is giving it, no, we should have firm faith in Krishna that he will not give it unreasonably. So if he wants, like Prabhupada, after 2 heart attacks, when he reached Boston Harbor, he said, if you brought me here, I know you have some purpose behind it. So you make me dance, O Krishna, just like a puppeteer make puppet dance. Like that, you make me dance, and I will dance to your tune. I have no problem. So like that, if it is our mood, then we'll never have distress. We'll have never have a distress in our life. We can always be happy no matter what condition we might get ourselves into. Okay. Yes,
Thank
Amit.
you so much, Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Amit Prabhuji, you have a question.
Krishna Protects. Prabhuji, my doubt is that when we transit through the circumstantial devotional stage to the intentional devotional stage, now is it that we transit in a different mode altogether, or if we are transiting that phase, how do we maintain our temperament so that we stay in the intentional devotional stage and we don't fall back in the circumstantial devotional stage? If you could just highlight some tips on that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Very nice question. So we may come to, we may be in trouble or distressful condition when we come to Krishna and asking for help. That Krishna says such devotees are also udara. 7 chapter 17 verse Krishna says udara. He used the word udara means as if they're big hearted. Krishna consider those devotees. He's almost feeling heartfelt thankful to those devotees who come to him asking for help in when they are in distress rather than going elsewhere. So that is one. So he feels very happy when the devotee approaches him for help when in distress. Not out of love. I know he knows that, but at least for that one reason, at least you have come to me. So he feels very happy with that. While you are being relieved from that distressful condition, or you are provided an alternative to overcome that situation, and you feel happy about it, you we should develop gratitude towards this. We should feel grateful towards Krishna for giving us relief from that distressful condition, whatever it could be. Also, if we are if we can seek knowledge at this stage, if the devotees or Lord being mercifully send some devotees in our life and we start seeking knowledge that Krishna has capacity to help me once, but Krishna can help me in unlimited ways. Why? Because he is who he is. He's Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is the original person. He's the Sarva Karana Karana. He's the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this all universes, all these three worlds. He has everything here is his energy. Everything is manifested from him. Everything is managed by him, owned by him, controlled by him, will be destroyed by him. He's we are also separated part and parcels of him. Now, when we learn all of this and other things from Bhagavad Gita, we can then develop, we can then, we should cultivate knowledge. While getting free from distressful condition, we should know more, try to know more about the person who is, you know, becoming, who is helping us come out of that distressful condition more. And when we learn some of these aspects through the study of Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees, then we also can develop love for Krishna. Our attraction towards Krishna should grow beyond looking him for a solution to our immediate problem. And then when we say that, when we see that भक्तोसी में सखा चेती, rahasya viha etada uttamam, that I'm revealing to you the science of relationship. I have a relationship with Krishna. It goes beyond, it's not a transactional relationship that I have a problem, you give me solution. I will give you two agarbattis and half kg pedas, you give me solution. This is not transactional. This is not trade that we can do with Krishna. We have eternal loving relationship with Krishna. Krishna is doing this to us out of love for us. Similarly, we can then also try and develop our attraction towards Krishna. So this happens in association of devotees. On our own, even if we may come to Krishna, but if we're not fortunate enough to get devotee association, none of the subsequent things will happen in our life. Unfortunately, we may, if your problem is solved, you will thank Krishna and go back to your old ways. If problem is not solved, you will curse Krishna and go back searching for some other devta or some other ways of dealing with your problem. So it will not help you much. You must seek a devotee association. And in association of devotees, you will be able to learn more about Krishna and develop your attraction towards Krishna. Our attraction towards Krishna will take us to Krishna ultimately. And also will take us from becoming a circumstantial devotee to intentional devotee.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for this deep insight. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Let's see if there are any other question in the chat. Yeah, no other questions. We can conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you everyone for participating in various discussions. Again, we fast until dusk time, evening time, and try and visit temples, visit Lord where he wherever possible, and remain in attached association of devotees in the evening, perform some devotional activities of your own, and thereby continue to remember Krishna on this such an auspicious day. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. We'll conclude today's session. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
pranam.
Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank
Krishna,
you very much,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Thank you very
Dandas
Pranam.
much.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.